Hello, I'm Shane in Sweden, and in this series of video presentations we've been looking at how you can automate Squarespace administration tasks using Selenium and C#. Now, in the first part of our video series we looked at what Squarespace was, what automation was, and why you'd want to consider automating tasks. In the second part of the series we actually then went on to look at how we could use C# and Selenium to automate logging into Squarespace. In part 3, we created the digital structures we need to store attribute information that would describe a digital product, and we worked with the test repository to store and read that product information. In this video and the next video, that's parts 4 and parts 5 of this series, we will be using this repository to provide the product information we need when we automate loading up our digital products. Remember, as always, you can download the code for this project in the link below the video if you'd like to follow along with the code yourself at the same time as I'm producing it. So let's get started and get into Visual Studio. Okay, so in our first test, we tested being able to log in. In our second test, we tested being able to log in and load the inventory page. So now we've got to the point where we're all ready to add a new digital product. So it's time to add a new test. And this test will be Squarespace Manager, log in, load inventory, add products. Now under the range, we're of course going to be carrying out our previous tasks. So we will create a manager, we will initialize our WebDriver. We'll log in Squarespace and we'll load the inventory page. And here we could have some sort of load products. And we'll actually call that digital products. Now, if you remember, we actually, in our previous videos, we'd already looked at how we could load up the list of products, the information, the metadata on the products we want to create using a file. And that file was a text file we had on our hard disk. So we can probably pass that file name to our load digital products method. And the file name was just testdata.txt. And we are just missing a curly bracket here. Let's just add that. And let's create this method. So what do we do when we load a list of digital products? Well, first of all, we'll have to load the metadata. And to do that, we're going to have to create a new digital product repository. And from that repository, we can get a list of products that we need to add. And obviously we want to loop through each of these products. And for each of these products, we will load one digital product. So we have to create a new method. So how do we load a digital product? Well, to that we need to look at the tasks we need to accomplish inside Squarespace. So let's go back to Squarespace. Okay, and here we are. So initially we're going to have to click on the Add Product button, which will give us this dialog. So if we just inspect, and we inspect the Add button, now we can see we've got a class button 3J7HJ. So let's copy that element. So we can see we've got to pass this in. So the first task will always be to press the Add Product button. and we can see which class it is here. Now, when we've added the product button, we need to choose a shop, and we're going to choose our Squarespace automation. And if we just inspect that element, we can see we've got a div, collection products, and inside that we've got a collection title which has the text Squarespace automation. So this element is the next one we want to click on. So we choose our shop. In this case, we're only going to add products to this particular shop, but of course we could have this as something that we read from our product file, which shop the product's going to go to. Now, after we've chosen our shop, we have to choose our product type, and we want to choose digital. So let's inspect that element. And we can see here we've got a div class option title, which is digital. So that's our next item that we have to click on. So let's copy that element. So choose digital product. And when we do that, we come to the main dialog. I think we've got enough here to build up our first initial methods and see if it works. So let's go back to Visual Studio. Okay, so here we are in our load digital product. We can paste in the facts that we've obtained so far. Okay, so we want to press this add button, and we've got our class and we've got a title here. So we can add a new method here, which is click on element, web element by, and we're going to send in the class name. Which should be here would be button 3J. And also the text, which is add. And we'll just generate that method. And here we'll have class name. And here we'll have text. And so we're going to search for an iWeb element that matches our class name text. And we get the driver to do a find elements. By class name. And when we found that class, all the elements that match that class name, we'll do a link search, link, where we're looking for the element that has the correct text. Is equal to our text. And then if this element is not equal to null, if we found something, we return that, or we click on it, should I say. So, and we think we'll just test that. Okay, we've run the test here and we've come as far as our click web elements by, so we're trying to find this button and we just want to check that our conditions work. So first of all, I'm going to check and see what we find by our class name, which is this button 3J. Now we can see there are 5 buttons that have that. So we want one which has the text which matches our ad. And if we look at our text, the first one has no text. The second one has no text. Third one has text commerce. Fourth one has no text. And the fifth one has no text. Okay, so we're not going to be able to match our button by text because of course it's title, it's not the tag text. So of these 2 buttons, the add button does not have text, but the commerce button does have text. So we need to find another way. I'm just going to take a shortcut here and inspect this item, this button, and just copy the XPath data. And here, instead of click element by class name, we are going to click element by XPath. And if I just paste in the XPath. So we need to create a new method. And here we'll find an element. The elements should be unique by XPath. And when we find it, we click on it. The next 2 elements, the next 2 buttons, choosing our shop and choosing our digital product, they have both a class and text, so we can use our original method, click element by, for them. And we're going to pass in the text. And we're going to pass in the class and the text. And we'll do the same for the digital product. Except here the class is option title. And the text is digital. Okay, let's run this test again. We start the browser automatically. We've seen all this before. We'll hop over to where we actually add the product. Okay, so we click on inventory. Then we should hopefully click on the add product, and we do. Okay, and it's not finding the digital in our product list. So why would that be? Well, it could well be just that we just haven't given it time to load. I can see we've got absolutely no weights here. So let's add those in and let's test this again. So we should have a wait seconds too after each click to give the web browser a chance to load the content. And let's run that test again now that we've made this change. Okay, we load our inventory, we add a digital product, we should choose the shop, and we should choose digital. Success. Now we still seem to have got an error here, but I suspect this error is because we're actually loading our products in a loop, and now that we've carried out all the tasks that the automation is supposed to do so far, it's gone on to the next product. But As you can see, we're not at the start state, so it can't find the elements that it needs to click on. So this isn't really a problem. We don't need to worry about this specific exception at the moment. So we go on to our next stage. We've loaded up our page. The next thing we want to do is add a title and a description. So we need to inspect these. And we've got an input, which is of type text with the name title. So that should be easy to find. Find title and input it. We can find that element by name, as we've done before. Then we need to add a description. Here we've got a very distinctive class. Should be easy to find. And then we need to add tags and categories. So, well, tags and categories are very similar, so we'll just show the automation of one of them, and it should work for the other. So if we want to add some tags, let's inspect. Maybe it's the tag we should push on that button, and that's a class field LHS, which has the text tags. So we'll just copy that element. Find tags. And what happens when we press in tags? We can add in comma separated text. And there we've got an input class. Field input. So let's copy that element. CSV tags. And then we want to set the price. So we need to click on this tab item. And we can see all of these got the same class, but they've all got different text, and we want pricing and upload. So let's copy this one. Copy element. So click on price tab. Pricing and upload. And when we've clicked on the pricing and upload, we then want to click on the price. Where we have an input type name, which has a name price cents, which we can easily find. Let's just copy that element. We also need to add sale price, which would be something similar, I imagine. Yep, which is a name sale price cents. Okay, so let's add these to our add product method and see how we get on. Okay, we just stop debugging here. Okay, and we've got quite a few new tasks. So first of all, we've got to find the title, and that we can very simply do by name, so that we can just go directly to that. So driver dot find element by name, and that will be title. And we want to send it some text. And what text do we send? Well, we're going to send the title from our digital product. And then we've got our description. We're not going to find that by name, we're going to find that by the unusual class name. So let's do this class name. And the class is RTE, which must be rich text editor, I assume. And for that, we're going to send our digital product description. under tags, we're going to click on the tags button. Okay, here we want to find a class by name and text. So we can use our click elements by here. Click elements by class name is field LHS, and the text is tags. And here we want to find the input once we've clicked on that and add our tags. So we can find the elements by its class name. Tags the field input class, and we're going to send it the comma separated text, which is our digital product. Now that's a list of strings, so we need to convert this to a comma separated text string. So let's make that. So we'll call this our string tags cs comma separated b string, and we can use the string.join method, where the separator is a comma and our array is our digital product tags. That should create a comma separated text, and we can use this comma separated text then in our field. Then we want to click on the pricing and upload tags, pricing and upload tab. And that we can do via text, just as we had before here. Click elements, web element by. So click web element by, and the class here is a tabbed header. And our text was pricing and upload. And then we just need to fill in our prices. And these ones we can find directly by name. So it's driver.find element by name. And then we're going to send it our values, which would be our digital product price. And the name here should be price in cents. And we'll do something similar for the sale price. We just get the right class name or the right element name. And the price is not going to be the price, it's going to be the digital product sale price. Okay, so we've done quite a lot of new fields here, so we should probably check these a bit carefully to see if we're working okay when we're running through our test. So let's run our test. Okay, we load the shop, we load the inventory, we add a new product, choose the shop, choose the digital product, add the title, add the description, and we've got a problem. And the problem is when we're trying to, let's see what the problem is. The problem is when we're trying to click on the tags, couldn't find anything which matches tags and class names. So let's just check and see what it could find. was able to find a few things that matched the class. And did one of them have the right text? So what was the text on the first one? Pricing. No text on that. Next one was tags. But you can see it's capitals. So let's just stop the test and change that to tags. And let's rerun our test. Okay, so let's see if this works better. We're going to add a new product, add it to the right shop, digital product, add a title, add a description, and I think we were able to add some tags. Yes, indeed we were. And we came to the next bit, which is the pricing, and something went wrong here. So let's see what the problem was there. Okay, and the problem here was we couldn't click on price cents. We couldn't click on this field, which may just simply be that we just didn't give it any time to load. If we look here, we've forgotten to actually add any wait seconds. While we're here, I also want to check how we actually did on our tags, because I saw we had one tag, stickman, which we added, but the string we sent was 2 bits of text, whereas we look and we can see we only added 1. So maybe we should try, instead of trying to send in a comma separated text, we should try to think about sending it in another way. Okay, so let's look at the tags problem. Our tags field here is an array, so let's just send it as an array instead. For each string tag in we can simply send that string in as a key, and then we can maybe send in a return, and we can do that by sending in a keys return special code, and we probably don't need that anymore then. Now also we wanted to add some weights, so that we give our browser a chance to load up the elements before it does these things. And let's run our test again, see if that solves the problem. Okay, we enter a title. We enter a description with a little more pause now, you can see. We click on tags. We send in our tags one by one. Stickman, hat, yes, that seems to be working. We want to click on our next tab. We need to add a price. We need to add a sale price. And yes, indeed, it looks like we're working. And of course, we go on to the next product as before, and it doesn't find the paths because we're not finished with our current product. Right, so the only thing we have left to do is add our images.